Well, thank you for joining us. I'm Jesse with Brew Minds, and I'm joined by
Tom McGuire. I'm sorry, the wind sucks.
We're still working on that transition.
Yeah.
Yes.
Tom McGuire.
You can't see it right now, but we have yet another upgrade to our technology. But it kind of makes our camera look like a troll doll. So
It's very attractive.
Point the other camera at it. Yeah.
yeah. I'll get that.
I can't look at it, man. Like, I can't take
We're gonna get that product camera over here, and you can kind of
Troll camera.
There you go. Troll camera. That's what we're gonna name it from now
Kind of
on.
looks like an evil poppy if you've seen Trolls.
Yes.
Yes.
It reminds me of Scrooge McDuck for some reason. Anyways,
There you go.
I'm
Well,
Tom McGuire
let's
with
get off
Brew
that.
Minds. We're here at Fretboard before their grand opening in 3 weeks about now. Is that it?
Correct. Correct.
Do you guys want to go ahead and introduce all yourselves and what you do here? And
Sure.
I'm Brad Plank. I am the co-tri-owner, head brewer.
What's your title? What's your title?
I am. What am I? I'm Positive Libations.
We're all tired.
Yeah.
We're tired. It's okay.
You guys have had a long day. You had a little bit of a get together today, I think.
We did.
Soft opening
First
today.
soft opening, we had Chamber of Commerce come in and bring about 50-something people in. So get our feet wet. It was nice, and we had deadlines, and we had to meet that deadline. So a lot of cleaning today, and a lot of things going on just to get ready. So it's good.
I've already seen Chris Roll, who used to be with Dutchess, I think now is one of your sales guys. He's out slinging kegs all over town.
Yes,
so
absolutely.
Chris already getting the beer out there.
We delivered some customers today. We've got 6 or 7 deliveries on Thursday. So yeah, the sales guys are in the marketplace, already hitting the streets.
Chris Ellison as well as our other sales guy.
Awesome. Well, and thank you for the beer to fuel our conversation tonight. But before we really dive into things, can you guys kind of go over?
Well, we're quick.
Can we introduce ourselves?
I was going to say.
I want to get to the beer.
No, let's just give the beer.
Jesse wants to dive in.
Jim Klosterman, lead guitar. Thanks.
I'm Joe Sierra. I'm the drummer. The drummer translates into the Excel jockey and conference room monkey. So that's my role.
I always need one of those. But we actually have some questions about all the music stuff later on too.
Sure.
That we're pretty intrigued by. And but yeah, so you guys are November 4th, big grand opening.
Mm-hmm.
What can you tell us about that?
Well, I'll start off. So we picked a November 4th in particular. We didn't want to fight. I think we could open sooner, but we've got a lot of things that production's going well. We've got tap room we're trying to deal with. We've got the music aspect, but we picked November 4th in particular to get past that holiday.
He was a whiskey drinker and he loved
grand opening. Give us enough time to really get ready for it. That's the reason for this event in particular. So, but with that being said, we're going to be open from 11 o'clock till midnight, and bands, we have lots of music that's being played. So I don't know if the camera captures it, but we've got a full performance stage to the left of us here, and a lot of subs, and a lot of low end and high end as well. So the musicians will appreciate that. But yeah, 5 bands starting at 1 o'clock. We're going to start at 11 a.m. and we're going to have city council in here from Blue Ash and have a ceremonial keg tapping and get started with a bang. So
Awesome.
that's
And
11-4.
how many beers should you guys have on by that
We will
point?
have 9 that day. We will be kegging our IPA, so it is as fresh as it possibly could be to consume on that. Actually, I take that back. That's not true.
A couple days before?
A couple days before.
Yeah, a couple days before.
Pretty darn fresh.
So, 9 beers.
9 beers.
Anything in particular gonna jump out at people, or are you
I
expecting to be big hit
I
winners?
think we're getting surprised by what we call Super Beer. It's our Trey Amber. It was one of Jim's concoctions when we were back at home brewing days, and it's a smash hit right now, and it has taken us. It's a sleeper. It's coming out of the woodwork. It's awesome.
I know Brad in particular is real proud of his IPA. So S23 is the beer that we had produced with, was Brad's recipe back in the day. Produced it with Ryan Geist as a fundraiser for Joe's brother, who was a sergeant in the police force who passed away. And we raised money on the backs of S23 for the family. So we're proud of S23. We're proud of Brad's IPA called Improv. That's coming on tap soon. And Tom, enjoying the stout.
Oh yeah, very much.
Yeah, yeah,
It's-
stout's
it-
delicious.
It's nice because I feel like so many stouts these days are like 8, 10, 12, 20%.
Yeah.
And it's, what is it, 6.5, 6.8?
It's right around that. I think it's 6.8.
You know,
6.8, yeah, that's a medal winner,
it's
right?
A little lighter, nice roasty, nice baker's chocolate. I mean, really, really easy drinkable. So
What are you having now? Are you having hoppy wheat?
Yeah, I've got the hoppy wheat. We actually
Called
have
there? Yeah,
some
there.
shout outs, I think, from your friends. Scott Pinley, Jamie Plank,
Hey,
thank you for
Jamie.
tuning in, and
Thanks, guys.
Josh Thompson. They all say hello.
All right, hello.
What up?
Awesome.
Yeah, no, I'm enjoying the hoppy wheat here. But speaking of like your guys' homebrew brew experience, this is kind of a good way to get into all of your guys' backstory, because I know from back when I used to cover more beer, like you guys have been developing this for a long time. So how did this all kind of come together?
He's been for the development of this for a long time.
was it, I feel like 3 or 4 years ago maybe, we were into each other beer and sweat.
Yeah, it was Beer and Sweat.
Yeah,
I forget,
this
it was
is year
20 something.
It's year 3
Yeah.
officially. Of
Year 3's fruition year.
Yeah.
of the brewery planning. Yeah.
So yeah, I was brewing, and we got our high school weekend at South High School. Tailgate party, and tell me Joe was waiting on some home brewing. And a week later, they invited me over to come brew with them.
I was wondering about the super
Really,
sacks.
it's just like
Super sacks.
from there. Yeah.
Kick the coaster down the
Yeah.
hill.
Yeah. Then we'll start brewing? Sure. Why not?
Well, you guys.
I wish we're that simple, but yeah, it was good.
You know, I think the crux of it for us is we're all artists, right? And that's the theme of the brewery. It's all about art. It's all about music. And if you're creative, I can't speak for all creatives, but being a creative, what we were doing in our day jobs wasn't filling the emotional wells.
Well, you're all IT guys.
Right.
And being an IT guy,
Correct.
I know that is not creative at all.
Interacting with mother Windows Server is just not exciting. Yay!
Well, sometimes you got to get creative with your solutions,
And
dealing on the
Agile
keyboard.
Well, yeah, there is problem-solving techniques and other things that are kind of fun, but after to Joe's point, it does not fill the wells.
Yeah, you go home exhausted at the end of the day, and then you get up exhausted, and your heart's not really in what you're doing, right? And so, for us, it was about trying to fix that. You can let life lead you, or you can lead life, and we all love music and we love beer. And so what happened 3 years ago was the assemblance of trying to achieve that, right? And so we felt there's a natural infusion of beer and music, both socially and creatively and everything that goes on.
Certainly.
And so we wanted to put pen to paper and not only brew great beer, but bring great music to the community, and to try and build an experience that you can't find. And I think as we get further along in the question, some of the stuff we're doing, I mean, I've searched. I can't find it in the United States. I can't find it on the globe. Conceptually, it may flop. It may work and be wildly successful, but I think we're trying to build something here that's unique. It'll drive that experience into our tap room. We're going to have great product. And so 3 years ago was just about us wanting to spring out of bed and being excited to go to work, right? And that's why we're here.
So which part came first? Was it the music or was it the beer? Because I know you guys all play together, right?
Kind
In a
of
band.
merged together. I don't know.
I think it
they're
happened-
on two tangential points, right? And they kind of merged.
I think it
don't know.
happened over beer.
Yeah.
So if that would, I don't know if that explains it.
Everything happens over beer.
Well, things get done over
Anything
golf
worth
and things.
happening,
Yeah,
right.
things get done over drinking a beer. So
But you all three started homebrewing together, and it sounds like you ended up taking the lead on that.
No.
Well,
I can't speak for when they started.
a long time ago, it was something I dabbled in. 2000, 2001. Through some batches. Joe and I have been in the same band for 10 years, from the time we were 20 to 30, and so we even had this house that we lived in over in the Coleraine Township area for 4 or 5 years.
It's the second album name. The White House.
Yeah, we called it. It was a little farm. It was a little white house. It was a little farmhouse off of Springdale. We named our second CD after it. But we used to brew there and stuff like that. Joe was, I mean, it was me and a couple other guys, but we all.
I've predominantly just been a heavy consumer.
Yeah.
And so you provided important feedback.
Yeah, so we were always drinking though. I mean, of course, light beer and all the big box. People were bringing beer, so you just drink it. But we were always searching out for those beers. So I don't. Anything that we did, music-wise, always involved somehow craft beer, even before.
We love
super
it was
popular.
Sierra Nevada, right?
Sierra Nevada was the
This was
best.
like 18 years ago. We're 21, 22, and we just
Look at the pop.
like this stuff.
Yeah, Sierra Nevada was a staple, the pale ale.
Yep.
At the house. So I mean, I think that's where it started. So there's really no separation between the music and the beer. I think obviously when
It's just a hot liquor.
running a production brewery,
It's a
the beer
mash
has to
mash
come
mixer
first.
allowed.
I mean, that's what's going to keep everybody employed. It keeps us employed, our employees employed, everything moving along. So if we can't have that, then we're not going to be able to do the music piece. So the music, I don't want to call the music secondary. It's just an important part of the fabric.
Well, you can
Woven
sell,
here.
I mean, you can sell this beer at Sammy's Burger Joint down the street.
Sure.
You can't really sell.
We
live
delivered
music.
kegs there today.
Yeah, and
They have our amber on tap, everyone.
Oh, I wanted to ask that earlier. So you've been getting kegs out in the market already.
Yeah.
Are they all on tap now? Or are you having people hold on? Or
It is pouring at Duchess right now, which is the amber, and it's pouring at Kirby's in Loveland, which is also the amber. And then Firehouse and Sammy's took delivery, but I don't know if it's
Okay.
on.
Yeah, we don't know.
We're not
when they're actually
saying
happening.
please hold to tap
Right.
these now. So it's basically whenever they get it into the
We,
rotation.
I know we're delivering kegs to Plum Street Cafe on Thursday downtown,
S23.
and they're pouring it on Saturday. So the S23, the Session IPA, will be on that.
so
Plum
people
Street.
can find it out right now, even
They can.
before the open.
Correct.
Correct.
So that's
Get a
good
little
for anybody who's really impatient.
Yes.
Yep.
Which, given the Facebook comments we're getting here, like Steve Shaw, he's chiming in. He wants to say hello.
Hey, Steve.
And then Kevin Moreland, who I know you guys have
Yeah.
been working
What's
with.
up, Kevin?
But,
Kevin.
Josh Thomas wants to know when your Christmas ale is going to drop. Where that's
Is that
going
Thompson
on.
or Thomas?
Josh Thompson.
Yes. It will be available probably towards the end of November.
Thanksgiving-ish.
Got about 200 pounds of local honey going through
See,
that.
what everybody doesn't know is we've been drinking Brad's beer for 3 years. And so we're excited. We're like, oh, the Christmas ale, that rocks. Yeah, we're like, yeah, let's get it on.
These folks are dialed into the recipe catalog already.
Well, Josh has had plenty of my beers over the past few years as well.
The winter is fantastic.
Yeah.
It'll be a heavy beer. It's be between 9.4 and 11, depending on how much
depends on
sugars
how,
are in the
the
honey.
efficiency we get out of it. You
Yeah,
know, what
let's
the
go see
honey
what
does
turns
for
out.
us for the sugar.
It's got a
punch.
nice
So,
balance, a good Christmas spice to it, so I think everybody will enjoy it.
That's good.
Well, so you guys all were drawn together by the kind of the craft and the music and everything. What drew you to Blue Ash? Is it you guys kind of live in the area, or did it have a lot to offer? Or, because you guys have an amazing facility to start out with. So, what kind of made Blue Ash, critical?
So we'll call it a series of fortunate events. I mean, that's the best way to describe that. right?
Some happy accidents. I think when you go in at this size of a brewery, because our brewery is a 20-barrel brew house, you just need the infrastructure to do it.
Right.
And so we looked at a lot of facilities, a lot. It just never ended. And so we by happenstance we came upon Blue Ash.
I was
back to
wondering
Blue
about
Ash
the
after
super
working
sacks.
at another facility down the road, and we looked at the Blue Ash market and thought, man. Me personally, I've been in 4 different jobs over the course of 20 years. Starting out when I was 18, and so I'm 41 now, and so this will be my 5th. And it's a great community, and I feel like it's a little bit underserved. But there's also really cool stuff happening down at Summit Park that they find. I mean, it took them years to get to, but they got some really neat things happening and development happening. So I think we're on the cusp of. A lot of people would say, "Oh, it's Blue Ash and nightlife's not that exciting," but actually,
Right,
what's
that's-
being developed down here is going to be super
That
cool.
landscape.
Yeah, super cool.
I, in a way, think there's kind of alignment with how Blue Ash operates in brewery taproom hours. And
Yeah.
so, brewery taproom hours, we're opening at the 3 p.m.s and we're closing at 9 or 10 p.m. And that's kind of how Blue Ash operates, right? Because you've got such a concentration of businesses up here, and so Blue Ash bloats during the day. They triple their residency during the day, and then all those people hit happy hours and bars, and then they go home, and then it simmers in the evening. And that's kind of what the taproom hours are doing in our industry. Obviously the more successful breweries are extending those hours, but I really feel like there is good alignment with how that concentration of business from 3 to 10, and then it's just kind of done.
I mean, you're kind of in an industrial area right here, and you might think, well, nobody's going to walk by at 9 o'clock on a Friday for a beer, but at 5 o'clock on Friday, you've probably got 20 businesses in walking distance who are going to leave their cars at work, come over here for a beer, and like you said, have a beer, maybe get food when your kitchen's open, maybe check the band, and then go home to Loveland or wherever they live, So
yeah, we are bracing for happy hours here. Yeah. 3 to 7 is just going to probably be off the chain. I mean, to your point, people just walking from next door, and we're very excited.
A lot of our neighbors are excited. Yeah, absolutely. We're just right here.
The traffic demographics alone from travelers, from this being such a heavy business district as well, is phenomenal. It's like leaps and bounds. So you get a lot of people who come in for business trips or whatnot, and they go back home and spread the word. I mean, that's even
It's the first thing I do. It's the first thing I do when I'm out of town. I look for local breweries, and there's all these hotels in this area. So
I mean, if you just think about somebody who's going to travel to work at a business in Blue Ash and probably get a hotel up on Reed Hartman and maybe never leave Blue Ash, they'll work 8-9 hours a day, go back to the hotel room. Well, now they can come right here.
Yep.
They don't have to worry about Ubering down to OTR.
And we have great Wi-Fi.
a mile.
Apparently, amazing Wi-Fi.
Yeah, I'm thankful for this all wouldn't happen, but
We're IT guys at heart, right? That's the roots.
well, speaking of this, if you're just joining our conversation now, we are Brew Minds. I'm Jesse, this is Tom, and we're joined by all the guys here at Fretboard, Brad, Jim, and Joe, and we're talking about their grand opening. But speaking of the Blue Ash community, do you think that the northeast portion of Cincinnati is kind of an underserved market? Because you guys are just about to open, 16 lots just opened a couple weeks ago, and then
They're up at Mason.
that's what 10 minute drive
about
here
10,
from
15
here.
minutes.
Yeah,
But,
I mean, I think it's a fair observation that we've been underserved. I mean, we had a brewery in Blue Ash. It was Watson Brothers.
Yeah.
And that was which is now the Firehouse Grill, and that was very successful for a long time.
Good product.
And they had good beer, and
A little before its time.
I think that was the first place I ever had like actual craft beer.
yeah, Watson Brothers. Yeah, I played there with guitar and drums.
Now, how far are you guys from the Queen City Brewery?
Queen City's literally about 1.2 miles away,
By the
something
way,
like that.
the crow flies.
And then
And
is
then
March 1st.
March 1st is literally
Yeah,
about a mile
about
away.
1 mile, 2 miles maybe.
You guys will have your own little brewery district.
We do.
It's
Yeah.
kind of cool. I mean, so yeah.
I think it's great. I think it brings the craft brew buses up, right? Because they can hit multiple shops. They're not. It's hard if you're one of those businesses to just drive a truck up for one establishment, right? And so, I have like a Vegas mentality where I think a lot of people clustered together kind of builds it, and the craft drinkers are promiscuous. We all know that, right? You want to go have a beer at Mad Tree, and then you're going to go down the Rhine Guys and have a beer. We love beer, right? So you can come up here and hit March 1st and us and somebody else, then it makes that trip worthwhile. So
just about the kind of different point about Blue Ash, changing tracks a little bit. A question about that promiscuity. I mean, it seems pretty clear there's some kind of market saturation going on right now where larger breweries are either losing sales or slowing growth. What's going to keep people coming back here for, people will come here and try the Jazz Stout or the S23. What's going to keep people coming back in 6 months or a year or whatever?
yeah.
Oh, it's you. Sorry. I heard it.
You're fine.
I heard it. I
You said, first off, go ahead.
well, there's
Jump in if you
Yeah,
think
great
No,
beer,
there-
great marketing.
there's
Seriously.
there's a big debate with the is the market saturated, but I think obviously the market
Overused word.
the market itself.
Very funny.
Yeah, I know, but there's more people in the market, right?
Some
So
of the
then it
data
becomes more
supported it.
centralized, and so you got more neighborhood breweries and things like that. But I think, the difference between the neighborhood brewery and a larger production brewery is one thing we decided when we started is we wanted a production brewery. In that production brewery, we'll have a tap room and we'll have cool ambiance and stuff like that. But that's the difference between a driver from a smaller brewery and that larger brewery starting off, I think. So for us, there's a differentiation point in size alone. And then the second thing is the music.
Right. I was wondering if
I mean,
you all love
hands
music
down.
clearly,
Right.
But was that part of your idea of we'll do this music to get people to keep coming back all the time, or was it more we love music and this is what we want? In
That's
our
just what we
brewery?
want.
Basically.
I think it's both, right? So music is core to who we are. I need music to survive.
Yeah.
I do. If music didn't exist, I would be done on this world. I really would. It's got to
very
be
boring.
on.
Fair statement.
I wake up with the music in my head, it's just got to be there. But what we tried to accomplish was using that coreness to be a differentiation, right? And so we all love live music, but let's be honest, everybody has live music. Right. So the stage behind us and having live music is not a differentiation.
It's not unique.
That's
That's a
big
differentiation.
differentiation.
A lot of places have live
But
music.
Artifact does live music as well.
I'll give you that.
It's a
It may be
differentiation
in
place on the
industry
40
differentiation.
Yeah.
In industry, maybe
Mad
it's
Tree is
different.
showed people in the corner, but it doesn't work out real well. And Moorline's had people
Correct.
back there too.
All
But
right,
you guys
well,
actually have a
fair.
built stage and 20 speakers and a giant soundboard and
Yeah.
and what was it, 3 or 4 practice rooms up there? It's
Well,
not we have
all
some
right,
music. It's no, you guys have a half music venue, half brewery.
Well, yeah,
that
no.
doesn't even count your artist space.
Yeah.
No.
Well, and that's the key, right? So we tried to take it to 11.
That's fair.
This one goes to 11.
Everybody loves it at 11, and so we've got the live music. Honestly, we want to focus on local original. We probably will have cover acts, but that's not the focus, right?
Right, well.
We really want the artists to get up and expose themselves and that interaction. But the studios is where we tried to build that differentiation, and so.
We've got more than a few questions about that coming up in a bit. I have one last question about why Blue Ash and everything. Kind of a beer nerd thing. Where do you guys get your water from? Because I know it's always been, as a transplant to Cincinnati, something that's always kind of amused me is so Hamilton is one of the top places in the world for their water, and Cincinnati actually is also
Right up there.
the Metro Sewer District and everything also right up there, and they their plant is actually really ahead of the curve when it comes to technology. I think they have 3 different filtration and cleaning systems that is way above what is required. Sure. So where do you guys get your water from, and how do you process it? I know
it's
some
the city
people
of
do
Cincinnati.
City of Cincinnati
Oh, nice.
water.
Yeah.
We're GCWW.
I think we're from the Hamilton Aquifer. I honestly believe. Well, I take it back because there's a Hamilton, and I believe there's a northeast aquifer that feeds Cincinnati as well. But I think
We're
it's
not for
Hamilton.
certain with that. We get it from GCW.
Yeah. But so we carbon filter the water here.
Awesome.
So the whole back of the brew house and the hot and cold side are all treated with carbon filtered water. Haven't done anything much with water treatment other than pH it with some phosphoric acid, some food grade phosphoric acid, just to get the pH levels down to the 5s. We're about 7.2 when we come out of the carbon filter. Get it down to about 5.5 for brewing.
Yeah.
And then stay around there through the mash, check the mash pH, and then if we have to adjust it there, we'll adjust it in the mash, and then if I have to then adjust it.
We didn't want to do any RO or anything that would actually break down the water, because I think what makes craft breweries unique is the water itself.
Yeah, absolutely.
Unfortunately, in some parts of the country, you get crappy water,
Yeah.
right? And we don't have crappy water here. We actually have great water, so why not utilize that and enhance?
Sure.
That's our
And-
beer,
Some local breweries still choose to strip it down to nothing.
And that's
which
fair.
is fine.
Yeah.
And
There's
that's
completely nothing
okay.
wrong with that.
Right, no,
Yeah.
it's just
Well,
two
It's
different
fan-
sizes.
actually,
Same one,
It's more
not a,
scalable, right? Because they can bring a facility online in Tennessee and strip it down and make the same water.
and also, to
We
be
can't,
flat honest, it's
right?
not as cost effective as a startup to be able to handle an RO
Right.
system because they're not.
Well, it's something I've been
cheap,
thinking
yeah.
about more and more, just because you talk about especially the beers over in Europe, they wouldn't be what they are if not for the local water table.
Well, and everybody tells me if you go to like Ireland and you drink Guinness, it's not the same Guinness, right? You know, they're like, they're like,
water.
and I haven't been there to know the difference.
Well, you know,
but-
the sewer water is different everywhere.
Well, okay. Right.
No, so
I'm Irish, and I'd still just
So I
bad
thought I was
memories.
supposed to be the chat.
Chopping the shop.
yeah.
Guinness
I've been
was
brewing-
my gateway into real beer, man.
I've been
There we
brewing for
go.
about anywhere from 12 to 13 years now.
Guinness and Sierra Nevada Pale. That's what got me here.
I've rarely treated my water. The only thing I ever treated water with was a Hampton tablet, and sometimes I forgot to do that. So
Yeah.
I didn't really want to change how the product came out tasty. And obviously, I was getting every now and then I got a little sulfur in the beer, but other than that, it was nothing. And there are byproducts that came out of it. So I mean, why change it? I mean,
And why change this?
The proof is in the liquid too.
We're super happy with the products.
Yeah.
All of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, all 6 on tap there.
Well, this is a good time to kind of go back a little bit, something we've been touching on over the show. And again, if you're just joining us, we are Brew Minds, and we're here with the Fretboard guys, and we're talking about the grand opening. But we want to talk about talk about the music. And we've touched on this a little bit. Like, you guys are all artists, and you wanted to bring that to you. But what can you tell, like, for your prospective artists or people coming in, like, music-wise, what are they going to get out of their experience here?
They're going to get a nice stage and a nice sound system and a nice light and good beer and
welcoming atmosphere.
and a welcoming atmosphere. Yeah, absolutely. Other than that, it's we don't know everybody out there.
Right.
We've been somewhat out of touch. We all kids and family and stuff that we've been raising, so it's not like we're pounding the streets and playing all the time. But we've got great connections with people that are say, hey, get these guys in here and come in and play, and I'm like, and that's what they'll get. They'll get a great. I mean, my thing when I went into a place and played, if you had a good sound system, it was a good sounding room, and you had people that were welcoming and liked the acts, then that was a great venue to play. I would go back there hands down, every time, and that's what we want to provide is a good space.
So, are there any particular like genres that you guys are really going to go after first, or is it just going to be whatever sounds good to you at the time? Or?
If they're up to me, I have reggae 24/7. And then
We already do, Brad.
and fish sprinkled in, right? But no,
we got the cliff tones on the floor.
we flat out
so we're
do
good.
not discriminate against any styles of music. I think it's fair to say we appreciate all styles of music. There's inherent talent in every style of music there ever has been, ever will be. I mean, so
Death metal happy hour should happen at some point. It will happen.
until there's one
That would be badass.
customer in a
I
tap
know a
room.
beer rep who can help you with that.
Yeah, I'm all for it.
Death metal happy hour.
That's it. I think that's the alignment with music and beer. Some days I feel like IPA, some days I feel like a stout, some days the blonde's good, and I think music is the same way. Some days I throw in my Pantera CDs, and other days I throw in Davy and Rice. And I'm totally cool with that.
I mean, it's all subjective too, right? I mean, you like what you like. So
Are there any regional acts or bigger names that you really kind of want to pull in? Because I know some of the travels that I've done,
if
like
you
Oscar
get fish to
Blues
play,
and
right?
their space down in Nashville, have, done big outdoor concerts, or a lot of breweries are known for like they'll pair a big concert with like a big release or whatnot.
now you're talking like the shoes.
So,
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I think we could. I think we can bring in some nationals here. No problem. We certainly have the facility to do it, and the PA to do it. When I'm not sure. We got some ideas on it.
Yeah, we've got some concepts.
We got some concepts, some ideas. So I think we have.
We're not done yet.
Yeah, we have the infrastructure to do it.
Yeah.
So it's just a matter of when.
any chance for like some vinyl nights or whatnot?
We actually talked about that this week. It might necessarily be a vinyl night. We could get a record player and put it up on the, or somewhere over here where it's a soundboard, and like have people bring their own vinyl in and play it, or we'll provide whatever we can, because I think it'd be very cool to hear the vinyl cracking on this speaker system. It'd be pretty sweet. Yeah.
We got some concepts around that.
What
I know
about,
Joe in particular does.
I don't know if you're saving kind of the music rooms for later.
He was a
or-
whiskey drinker.
If your question about music was kind of leading.
Yeah,
into
we'll
this,
get started. Yeah. If you want to say it then, go ahead.
Yeah, so the facility's equipped with 3, I'm not going to call them studios, I'm going to call them creative.
I was going to ask, because I've heard like 5 different terms.
Correct.
Yeah, we keep hearing recording
Studios.
spaces. They're not
That's-
recording
that's-
spaces.
spaces.
It's not a
Studios.
recording studio.
Yeah, a
and
studio
it's
sounds
intentionally
like-
ambiguous because we don't want to identify the application.
Right.
So,
It's a room, you can use it for what you want to make music in.
correct.
Or just to be
Correct.
creative. It doesn't have to
So,
be necessarily music.
I think our
right?
I think our only stipulation is that it's an art.
Okay.
And so the reality is, if you're a painter, you could take a creative space and you could rent it out and you could paint in there, right? Obviously, we're
be
music
much audio
focused.
when
I
it's
think
happening.
from a percentage perspective, it's probably going to be 99% music, but. We don't want to call them studios because people think recording. We don't want to call them rehearsal because then people just think they're band rehearsal spaces. So, but what we have is square footage available for rent.
Maybe a jam space?
Jam
that's
spaces
fun.
are fine.
It's fun.
I can see
I like
something
jam.
really weird and cool
Improv
with like
space.
Fringe,
Right.
the Fringe Festival, and like streaming like little acts and stuff in there. And
Yeah,
It'd get all
Well,
sorts of.
and that's the beauty. I don't want to paint the box.
Right.
I want to
It can
provide the
evolve
canvas,
as well, I mean, that's the
right?
beauty of it.
And so the rooms are the canvases, and they will be they'll have high definition video and audio feeds, and at the artist's discretion, those can be enabled or disabled, turned on or off, and they'll feed to that TV in the corner. And so if they're on, you'll be able to watch what's going on in the studio. And there'll be a headphone bank over there where you'll be able to put a pair of headphones on and listen to what's going on. So it's completely at the consumer's discretion if they want to take that in, and it's at the artist's discretion if they want to give that out, right? So it should be this trifecta of us providing the platform, the consumer and the artist wanting to participate, but not having to, right? So it's central. You want to come in and have a conversation, to have a beer. Everything can't be in your face, right? You have to have that election of, no, I'm here to talk to Jesse, and I just want to talk to Jesse, right? And
I can't imagine why you would.
well, I'm a pretty attractive fella. Right?
Elder purple going on there.
I like the purple.
Yeah, no, we need to get some Brew Minds shirts, or a certain Mike Stokes could I don't know, maybe do a little sponsorship, but
Yeah, I mean,
You
I
know.
got Brew Minds tonight, so.
throw that out
that
there, or Craft Connection too. But
Sure.
but you guys are also you were talking earlier about maybe an app to kind of do that as well. Like,
It was.
Yeah, I think
I was
I
really
think
looking into that. Yeah.
I was gonna
That's
say
long-term
initially the idea
The
of
Get Open campaign.
let's
Yeah.
get open and get the idea and the proof of concept there and actually working. So it might be rudimentary to go up and listen on headphones, but if we can get an app going and be able to stream that live, that would be even better. Because then you can sit at your home and drink a Fretboard beer, and with your growler to
It
go.
used to- the that camera.
Oh wait,
right
oh there we go, growler to go, and listen to an act in the practice space, and it goes back to we're crafting beer and we're crafting music here, so it's that synergy between the two, and
Can we use ubiquitous here?
it's ubiquitous.
Why not?
We're slowly inching our way back up into like NPR quality
Yeah.
discussion now.
Yes.
So
When I'm
rewarding
ready,
this, yes.
let me drink my coffee. and
The
then-
weather outside is 56
Dry mouth.
degrees, and it's
well, we do have some questions and comments here.
Sure.
Josh Thompson again chiming in is adamant that the Cliff Tones are going to be great. Chris Stevens, OG beer blogger here in the BA, he wants you to bring in Jeremy Pennell, the Kentucky Kentucky Struts, and the Tillers. And then Lisa Bow wants to know if you will have acoustical acts.
no
Yes, we'll
acoustical
have
acts.
acoustic-
None.
Kidding.
So Mike and Sean of the Tillers
Our
are
players.
part of the
Yeah.
lineup.
Yeah, two of
We
them.
tried to get the full Tillers, but 2 of them were booked, so we got half the Tillers.
Awesome.
But
So
yeah,
you have a Tills.
We have a Tills. Yeah.
Chris, so
actually Sean.
Chris, we need open up line of communication with those artists so we can have a conversation. That's all I can say.
Do that Queen City Fresh magic, Chris. Come on.
I
Get it
tell
going.
Chris I Chris, I asked you to come out and check us out.
Called him out.
I didn't think about it until
Called him
like 4 o'clock today. So what are you doing tonight, Chris? Come on, hang out.
I said we're pouring beer. Come out and get a beer. That was only 3 days ago, so I got you.
It's got.
It's good. I
Gotta
didn't-
give him that
At
heads
least
up.
yes, we will have acoustical acts.
Yes, absolutely.
Is there gonna be like an
Like
open mic?
Rodrigo
night
and Gabriella or something like
We
that.
went,
yeah.
we're talking about an open mic night. The probably the most interesting concept is vote the band out night, which is if we can have the band rooms booked, then we'll have people vote in the tap room,
Crowd vote.
and then do a
We'll
crowd
bring 'em out
vote,
on
and then
stage.
bring them out on stage and say, all right, you got a half hour, go set up, and boom, we'll go.
Yeah.
Nice.
So and then bring them out.
I'd like to check that
We've
out.
got a big stack of ideas that we can boil into execution.
Yeah.
We're not shy on ideas, but yeah, that would be total. In fact, the app, we're talking about building that into the app. Right?
Yeah,
You
like
just
the
download
votes.
the app and you could vote Studio Red, and then once they get 100 votes or something, come on stage.
Right.
So
Awesome.
we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Lots of stuff. But.
Well, now's the time to kind of talk about the reason why everybody wants to come tune in and check all this out. It's time to talk about the beer. And if you are just joining us, we are Brew Minds. I'm Jesse, this is Tom, and we're joined by the Fretboard guys at their big opening. So we have a little rundown of the beers you said you guys are going to be opening with, putting to your Facebook page. If you can kind of run us through them a little bit. We've got the Improv American IPA, the Jazz American Stout, the Lyric Wheat Ale, the Wider Blonde Ale, and the S23 Session IPA. And if there's any others you want to throw in and talk about in there, but if you can kind of run us through those first, and we've got a lot more coming after that.
I grabbed those off the website.
Oh, that's fine. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
that's right. So the Improv American IPA. So that is it's a very hop forward West Coast style IPA. It's one of my
Brad's
babies. It took gold in Beer and Sweat last year.
Nice.
Or 2 Beer and Sweat too, I should say that.
That's pretty impressive,
Two.
though. I mean,
Yeah, I love
out
that.
of 100 some IPAs, probably.
Yeah,
So.
there wasn't that many. It was like 30 or 40, but yeah, I'll take that. Yeah.
No,
For
so
those-
it's 100. No, it's 100.
It was actually
300. It's like
325.
300, yeah.
But,
A lot of IPAs.
For those of you who haven't been
It
to
was a
Beer
lot
and
of
Sweat,
IPAs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
highly recommend
Most
that you go.
IPAs
Tom is actually wearing a Beer and Sweat shirt right now.
Oh, yeah.
I wear that
So-
religiously all the time.
I forgot
Yeah.
what it was. I usually wear
But
the won't hop in the.
I only have that one. I have that one's my first one, and then I have the red one from last year with the barbell or the cake bells.
I actually that's the first time I had any of your beers. I saw your name on the
Yeah.
keg list and everything, and winning all the medals. But
Yeah. So yeah, I mean,
Brad cleaned up.
Yeah.
did,
I
he really
swept
did.
the IPA category. I'll put it that way. Yeah,
Nice.
that was fun. I mean, I was on a homebrew level. They were on a professional level now, so I bring
beer
those
is
with
pretty
myself.
pretty serious.
Some early
It is.
Pretty serious competition.
shot calls against some of the Rheingeist and Matry. You're kind of coming at them.
Actually, Jim Matt actually judged one of my my session IPA, and that's what took Best of Show runner-up in that same competition.
Nice.
Which was the S23. So that's a very
which Jim Matt brewed with us.
Jim Matt with us as well. Correct.
Right.
I was getting there.
We actually passed the first Gym Mat test when we
Right,
brewed it
yeah.
on
yeah.
the system.
And Jim Matt and Brian tested, and then
Yeah,
we
they're
actually,
like, well,
yeah.
this is good.
So that S23 took Best of Show runner-up in that same competition out of 266 or 267 entries as well.
Is there going to
Jim's
be
awesome.
obviously there's going to be some minor differences anytime you brew a collaboration
Some.
beer on somebody else's system,
Uh-huh.
but are there going to be any big changes in the S23 beer?
No, absolutely not. The only so I have the capability of whirlpooling on a very large scale now, so that is what Jim was able to bring to the table when they helped us brew that. When they brewed it for us back, was that 2014?
2015, January 15.
Yeah. So they whirlpool with a heavy Centennial. So I did a whirlpool with the same thing, but I did a high dose of. I did about 22 pounds of dry hopping in this one. I did 11 pounds of Amarillo and 11 pounds of Citra with dry hop. And I don't know. I mean, I think it came out really well. So it actually tastes, for the most part, it's pretty spot on. But I first hopped with in a homebrew recipe with Simcoe. Obviously, I'm not going to put Simcoe in a bittering charge on a production level system, right? Because I subbed it out for Nugget, and I still got my Simcoe in there in a different. But it's not. I can't taste much of a difference, to be honest with you.
That's actually
I got
one.
the bready, nutty taste that I'm looking for.
Well,
and
I was
the
going to
body,
say,
yeah.
regarding the beers, we've been drinking Brad's beer for 3 years
Yeah.
now, and the really cool part is tasting it on the production level isn't much different. And we know the difference.
Water's the same.
We know the difference. The water's been the same, and
The cell
the
counts
beer,
are the same.
It's almost come out better.
On a
you know.
scalable level.
I was gonna say that's probably not good, but yeah,
No,
scale
yes,
like
yes.
The stout, same thing.
Yeah.
I've been drinking 3 years. You know, hoppy wheat, and they've really come out spot on.
You know,
Love it.
You know, kudos where kudos are due. You brought up Kevin. We've been working with Kevin Moreland, and Kevin's been instrumental in helping us scale these up and make sure we're putting out
Thanks, Kevin.
a quality product, right? We had no intention to come into market and figuring it out, right? And Kevin's definitely helped us make sure that we're hitting the ground running. We're putting out quality liquid. We're going to continue to put out quality liquid. We're building policies and procedures in place to test, and you know, it's not going to go south on us. That's our commitment to everybody.
And so Kevin helped design the system and get everything installed and set up, right?
No.
No?
No. So Kevin, well, I take that back. So the system was already ordered.
Okay.
We brought Kevin on post-system install to consult, to basically align when we go online with brewing, right? So that's when Kevin stepped in. Maybe about a week and a half before that is when Kevin helped out as a consultant.
He's definitely made some tweaks.
We've had made some tweaks, and he's had some much for the better, you know. So yes, so there has been some tweaks to the system with some overhead piping for transfer lines, a reverse CIP line so I can backflush the plate chiller, things like that, all for the better, right? So just all for process improvements.
Well, that dedication to QA is to me so important. Like
Absolutely.
nothing is more disheartening than going to somebody's grand opening or whatnot, and that kind of you taste the beers and you're so excited, and there's the immediate off flavors, and then you know I know I can speak for myself and other beer nerds that like. What do you say in those situations? Like you want
Well,
to.
it's the first batch, so
Right, and that's why I always go
but
twice and go
that's-
4 months
is
later.
that acceptable? I mean,
But
it's
that's
not
yes.
acceptable to me.
But that's also
it's,
the thing.
it's not
like,
acceptable to us, you know.
It's not
so,
a tough, and again, it's. I've experienced that. Didn't want to be the person that being said about,
Right.
the brewery that
Right.
being said about. So we took extra measures to ensure quality control at the gates.
Well, you guys are starting out with a lab.
We have
too.
a lab as well, so we have a hemocytometer. We can count yeast cells. We can harvest our own yeast right now. I mean, clean, and then sanitize, and then clean again, and we'll maybe brew for a half a fraction in between all that, and then clean and sanitize some more. I mean,
you mean you don't just sit around and drink and play music
I
all day?
wish.
I do.
I'm still waiting for mandatory jam time. Yeah.
Yeah, well, mandatory jam time is coming because I'm getting pissed off because it's not here. Okay, all I've been doing, I've been working.
Just get the mash going.
Yeah.
So
Right after this.
yeah, I know we're gonna go. So 7:30 in the morning, and all of a sudden it's like, wow, it's 1 a.m. again,
Yeah.
and you're like, wow, I haven't done. What have I
Right.
done all day?
Well,
Yeah,
so
no,
let-
I mean, to go back on quality just for a smidge, I mean, it's absolutely critical.
It's inherent.
I mean, and you know, us as craft beer lovers, as weird as this to say, we probably have a higher tolerance because, like you said, maybe it's the first batch. I'll go back and try another one, right? But if there's a customer that comes into our facility that is a potential conversion, and we
From
give
macro.
them that product, and they taste it and they're like, that's terrible. We could have not done a bigger disservice to our industry than put that
I was wondering about the
product
super sacks.
across the bar.
Super
And
sacks
so
over there.
everybody has our commitment that quality product from day one and without wavering.
But I just want to say, the Kevin we were talking about, who helped them get set up and going, was Kevin Moreland from Listerman's and Taft's, and he's helped that. Yeah, I mean he's been all over Cincinnati. And also for any Blank Slate fans, the guys at Fretboard snagged Colin, who's
Come on
sitting
in,
over here
Colin.
in the back.
Come on in.
Come on,
A
Colin.
little hug fest behind Jim.
Yeah, he's like, wait, I gotta get up.
Kevin joined us yesterday as our lead brewer in Cellarman as well. So
Yeah.
Come on in.
Glad to.
Cheers. Yeah, cheers.
welcome aboard officially on the
Fretboard
interwebs.
employee.
Glad
Sponsored
to see you back
by
in the beer scene.
Sponsored by
Exactly, yeah.
Under Armour.
girlfriend's mom's Under Armour purchase. You know, other than that.
Colin's promising some crazy experimentals, man, right?
What are you promising?
I am promising to help contribute to good, consistent beer in Cincinnati.
All right.
Well done.
And a creative
That's a
journey.
well-practiced answer.
My job here is to learn, to help improve, and also showcase ideas in the future. But that's quite a yacht you got up there.
So
From 7 to 20.
Yeah, I was gonna say I was very much operating a man-shifting steamboat back in the day. That made quality, good product, but at the same time,
Yeah, absolutely.
this
I
is
mean,
a
the
different-
best.
This is a different ship, that's for sure. So I'm very interested in learning how this operates and also contributing some of my knowledge in the past as to help this brewery run as efficient as possible. That's for
Port
sure.
side,
So,
starboard side.
Yeah. just where's the
He's
hot
like-
water and the cold water? And
He's like, we had 2 vessels before. You guys have way too many now.
as long as I know where the grain goes in and the beer pours
Yeah,
out,
there you
we'll
go.
figure out the rest in between. So, but no, it's a. I come from the same genre or background of I can't live without music either, and barbecue being built into this.
Kitchen, yeah.
Why say no to a really cool concept? And
You're gonna dabble your hands in everything.
I can offer some experience in all aspects of this place.
Culinary, right?
But, I have a culinary background.
name?
I was gonna say,
Colin, Airy,
I see what you're doing.
He's got jokes, people. He's got
I
jokes.
can cook and brew. Again, don't push me on stage.
Oh, you're good on stage.
said you'd
one of these-
sing.
one of
It's
these
actually
days,
mandatory.
yeah,
You said you'd sing.
Colin has the golden pipe.
well, yes. Golden's overstatement, but yes, I appreciate the compliment from somebody that's never heard me sing. Yeah, I really appreciate that. Yeah.
Colin's
Again,
resume.
has always been on my
Yes,
resume as a
yes.
conversation starter. I didn't realize it'd be like, oh, that landed me a brewery position.
That was like my focal point.
Never mind 4 years of brewing experience. He's got a recorded album.
Yes.
That'll
That
maybe
was the only odd thing in your resume that stood out. This guy was brewed before. Yeah, he's had
Yeah,
sales.
great.
All
Shout
right,
out
great.
to
Oh,
the
you
100
recorded an
people that
album.
bought that album. Shout
We
out.
still have yet to hear it.
So Colin, let's talk about the music.
Yes.
Brewing, what brewing? Who cares?
I actually like the fact that with what your core brands are, I've already kind of thought about like, oh, these would be great punditry names for
Oh yeah.
what can go on in the future.
Oh yeah.
I won't go into them yet because the recipes haven't been designed yet, but I'm just kind of like, just walking into it made me go, man, the cycles are churning. I'm really looking forward to what I can contribute on all aspects of it.
Awesome. Good. All right.
I'm gonna get off the camera
Oh,
now.
yeah.
Hi, Mom. You don't have Facebook, but hi.
You're now Cincinnati famous, just so you know.
Feel a little verklempt.
All right, so
Talk amongst yourselves.
well, back if I can interject back to the beers real
That's
quick.
what I- exactly what I was gonna
Sorry, we
say.
didn't jump off.
We're on the exact same page for once.
Yes, now.
Karen Anderson wants to know what dark beers you'll have on tap, and if you can.
Karen, we have
There's an empty one right
Yeah,
now.
but
and
Our
there was
stout,
a
Jazz American Stout right here, which was delicious.
No, an American stout is. Were you guys I know you were doing it a little
American
drier.
Strong Stout. Yes.
Okay, so it's not like a dry Irish stout.
No,
No,
it's American Strong
But
Stout.
it
So I
must
mean,
be
it's
an Irish
bitter
stout
with
then, not an American stout.
it's American grains. I'm just saying.
Names
American
can be
hops,
anything.
Midwest hops too. So it's bittered with Columbus, and it's got a quasi late hop edition of Columbus in there as well.
So this is your American Stout, 2 Mad Trees, Axis Monday American Super Stout.
It's not imperial.
Well, that's what I'm saying, because this
So-
is 6.8, Axis is like 10. So
Yeah,
right.
fair enough. Fair enough.
we can do a lot of
They
iterations.
use Columbus. I
with
don't even know.
it. Well, I was gonna say
I don't
with
remember
this
the
particular
access
style, we can do a lot of iterations.
could, we
with it.
could.
So we've done this with coffee.
Yeah.
Delicious. Raspberries. You do raspberries?
I've done raspberries. I've done cherries. I've
Or
done
cherries,
some
that's what it was.
Montmorency
He's just
cherries
trying
on
to-
this as well. tart
So-
I think you know
But that's-
Tom has like
Yeah,
a massive
I don't know if
affliction
you
of
knew that or
raspberries.
not, but you say raspberries. Like,
Okay, not raspberry.
Manchester is.
I love raspberries.
Oh, okay, gotcha. I'm like, oh.
Stouts are awesome. 'cause you
Yeah,
can put
wait.
anything.
Yeah,
They're
so
delicious.
peppers, chocolate, raspberries.
Habaneros,
We'll do a lot of
jelly. Yeah.
This one we'll do a lot of
Pistachios,
iterations.
whatever.
A lot of iterations.
Awesome.
Well, to answer a question, Brad, we've done porters.
Chocolate coconut, yeah.
And so I think particularly with the stout category, we'll do different iterations with this recipe in particular, and then put a porter on tap, and then your winner's not a dark, but it's pretty.
I want to
It's a
dabble
heavy.
with. We've got some local
I mean,
coffee
she might like
roasters
that
we're
one,
working
so
with down
I
the street
think
called
so.
Seven Hills Roasters. So since this is more of a it's more of a tart, not tart, but it's not. I shouldn't say tart's the wrong word. The stout has more of this bitter coffee flavor that I wanted to balance it with a sweeter coffee. So we researched an Ethiopian blend that they have that's got a little sweeter note because I didn't want to get more of the bitter piece off the the coffee bean off of that. So we worked with this Ethiopian blend and it turned out really well to balance out a little bit of the bitter in the bite on this
We
stout.
call it Sally Struthers.
Yes. Sure. Just 3 cents a day.
Okay, so and you know the name jazz works really well for all this experimentation with like
Right.
free jazz or cool jazz or
It's-
acid jazz or whatever. Right?
Yeah,
I'm a jazz guy.
yeah.
So you could have your hard bop stout one day. Your
Exactly.
Yeah,
bebop stout.
absolutely.
Anything.
Jazz is like the perfect name for the stout.
Right.
I mean, stout's complex. It's got so many different things
So
going
many
on.
permutations you can
Perfect.
go with jazz. I mean,
No, I
it's so
was-
freeform.
Curious
Yeah.
about some of the other names. Improv, I always see improv music. Lyrics and music. A session, I'm guessing that's like a jam session or something. I mean, it's obvious.
Which one?
Oh no, that's S23.
S23 is
right?
the only one that's not unique to music. It's I'm sorry, that's not a tie to music. It's unique to Sergeant Eric Sierra. So
Yeah.
Okay, that's
it's
correct.
the only
That-
one that's
that was
not
his
music
badge.
related.
That was his badge number.
Okay, that's what I was going to ask what the
Yeah.
S23 was.
Yeah.
So, and that beer in particular it will be a donation vehicle back into the community.
Nice.
So whether it's in our tap room or in a bar, 50 cents per pint will go to a nonprofit organization by the name of Behind the Badge, and they will donate it to local first responder community, police, fire, etc. So, yeah.
That's awesome.
It's really great of you guys to give back like that, which I think is also just such a big part of like the craft beer community. But that's most people are just kind of doing it, there behind the tap room. So to be able to open that up, I think a lot of people will get behind that. So.
Yeah, we the community supports us. We want to support the community, and so from day one, we're going to do that. I have no clue what our numbers are going to be, but we're going to donate 50 cents a glass back to the first responder community. And so, but it's kind of cool. So what we do from a bar perspective is we're asking the bars to donate a quarter, and then we match that, right? So as our consumers go into the marketplace and drink S23, know that that bar has made a conscious decision to donate back to the community as well.
Yep.
And, and
Literally written a check.
yeah,
I mean,
they are writing.
I gotta write a check.
They are writing an extra check, and then we're matching it. So, we all get in that funk where you walk into a bar and you don't know what you want to drink, right? And so, well, it's a good session IPA, and I want to do some good. So give me an S23.
Well,
Right?
my
So-
biological father was a police officer, so on his
Cheers.
behalf, thank
All
you.
right,
Salute.
cheers. Cheers. Cool.
And almost through telepathy, Karen Anderson wanted to know if you guys were doing flights, and wouldn't you know it, right here.
I love you,
guys-
Karen.
Our little Ohio fretboard brewery.
Oh, those are really cute. That's awesome.
I gotta say that is one of the nicest fretboards, tasting boards that I've seen with the
Oh, you can't really
engraving in
see,
it.
but I like you've got the ABC, just like the notes too. That's really cool.
Well, yeah. We've got a
Well,
card-
that corresponds with the
the
card.
beer that you get on here.
right, but
Yeah,
it
but
ties
it
into
goes
the
music,
music.
it goes
Fair enough,
with
right,
that.
right.
It works both
Yeah.
ways.
It works both ways.
Instead of
You
one,
meant that
two,
the
three, four.
entire time.
Is that 1, 2, 3, 4? Yes.
Parallel
ABC.
paths that sometimes converge and then sometimes go parallel again.
Well, can you
I got a math background, so that makes absolutely no sense. By the way.
can you kind of maybe run people through those real quick? Just
What's your board?
Vintage board. That looks like
That's
the writer.
S23.
That's S23.
We're doing brewery quiz right now.
This is our lyric wheat. This is our El Jefe Hefeweizen, and this is our Jazz Stout. So we did a Hefeweizen with a German Hefeweizen yeast strain. So it's got a
Turned out
perfect
really
blend of banana and clove going on with it.
Gotta have it.
Gotta have it.
Yeah, because not everybody's a big hop fan. So
Well, getting back to the names for a second.
Yeah.
Rider, that's like the list of crazy stuff that the bands get to say, like only brown M&Ms. Is that where that name's from?
Look, it can have many meanings.
We've all got a different
We
music
do.
connection.
So you
Yeah.
can think of Lowrider,
I
right?
love
with the
Lowrider.
door, or you can
Okay.
think of Riders on the Storm with the Doors. You can think of
Sure.
I Know You Rider by the Grateful Dead. So it's open to interpretation loosely because we all have 3 different interpretations of what that name means, but we all converge on that. That's a great name for that beer.
And
You know, Trey.
lawnmower,
Yeah.
beer, it's a rider.
Trey.
Both here, you can
so-
drink it all day.
Trey Anastasio is one of my favorite
Right,
guitars.
alright, thank you.
I'm a
Yeah,
fish head.
that is named after.
So
Trey.
it's an amber. Amber is red.
He's
Trey's
a redhead.
Done.
Just made it
Name.
quick.
Right. Well,
Done.
earlier
Love
everybody was
Trey.
saying, you guys were saying, oh, the amber's killing. I'm like, all right, well, if the amber's killing, I got to get it. And you were saying it's called Trey. I was a fish head for many,
Right.
many years, and I was like Trey Anastasio.
You got it.
Absolutely. The one and
Yes.
only.
Good,
The
good
guitar
work.
god
Now,
himself.
as a
Yeah.
pianist, can I get like a Paige McConnell beer? Is that
We
good?
might do a Lomboy or something.
Right.
Yeah, we'll see.
Silent in the morning, maybe.
Needless to say, we have a good well to draw from for beer names.
Right. That's very true.
Let alone just for
Vladimir
fish songs.
Horowitz?
But
I don't-
Harpua, maybe.
my first Rottweiler was named Harpua.
Very nice.
Yep, first dog ever.
Well,
My
on
dog's
that
name is
note,
Isabella.
we're coming up on the hour,
Sure.
so we want to do a quick recap of all of the grand opening details before we have to say goodbye.
Let me stop with it. It's not a
Alright.
grand opening. It is called Jam Session.
Jam
we
Session.
want to clear the slate. We want to clean it up. So it's called Jam Session. It's going to be, we call it 1.0, or it's called Jam Session. Next year we'll have Jam Session 2.0, however you want to look at it. But it'll be our marked anniversary of our opening date. We want everybody to be part of it and how cool it would be to be a part of our first Jam Session.
Nice.
And then continue on the legacy with us as we grow.
And absolutely.
Well
And
Well
so let's be clear. That's the event you want to come to.
It
We've
is.
got great music.
Fantastic.
We've got entertainment. It's going to be awesome. You want to show up. Honestly, from a soft perspective, we're open on Monday. So if you want to come by and check us out and grab a pite,
Come in and have
stop
beer.
in. So
You're
Monday,
here first.
yeah,
Unofficially
we're
open.
going to be open at 3 o'clock in the afternoons is what would be our opening time. Friday we'll open at 11, but starting this Monday the 23rd we'll be open.
So you guys will be open
We'll post
7
the
days
hours.
a week?
We'll
or-
post, yeah, 7
Yeah,
days.
7 days a week. Monday,
Awesome.
Monday through Wednesday, 3 to 9. Thursday, 3 to 11. Friday, Saturday, 11 to 12, and then Sunday, 12 to 9. But starting Monday, come out, check us out,
Yeah.
grab a pint.
Well,
It's
everyone,
totally chill.
you're
We're not,
here first.
we're not doing any mass marketing behind it, but yeah.
By the way, we're Bengals fans, so we've got this massive system. So
we can
we
walk
got
like an
TVs,
Egyptian.
So,
We're Bengals
so
fans.
we love music. Well, you know, hey, when the game's on,
I like that.
we'll go to the game. Yeah, we will.
Like
Music fans or sports fans too.
He's old.
Anyone under like 30 is like, what?
Yeah. And by the
something to do
way,
with
we broke that here. Nobody knew about the soft opening.
Yeah.
So there you
Yeah,
go.
this is the
Yeah,
first
absolutely.
night. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Monday we're open. Come on.
But,
come out.
but you're cool if we put that on blast now, though, right?
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, sure.
We still like the verbal aspect.
We're
Even
not
if
doing
recorded
any
verbal
mass
aspects,
plays.
yeah.
So the whole intention is to be open for a couple weeks and work out the kinks, right? So if
Right.
you come in and get a pint and we're
Yeah.
figuring it out.
Bear with us. We
We'll
will
be
take
ready
care
for
of
the
you,
fourth,
and
right,
you will have an
right.
enjoyable experience.
Come
And
come in.
when will your food option come in?
Definitely by 11:04.
Yeah.
They will open.
Yeah.
On the fourth.
Yeah. Unfortunately, not yet. So.
And it's a
got some
barbecue place?
Yes.
Correct,
Smoked
yeah.
out Cincy.
Smoked out Cincy is gonna have delicious meats.
Fantastic
Yeah.
meats.
So they've got a.
It's gonna be huge.
Yeah, they've got. It's gonna
Big
be.
league.
It's gonna be big league. So they've got a serious smoker.
The most smoke.
It's gonna be like an armada of meat. Okay.
of meats.
This is the calm before the storm of the meat apocalypse.
So, but yeah, no, they've got a serious oven that's in there,
They do.
and it's gonna be. I'm looking forward
It's
to it.
impressive. It's very
Yeah.
impressive.
So,
Bunch of reputable guys. They own other restaurants in the tri-states, so we know they're going to knock it out of the park. It'd be awesome.
Nice. Not much better than barbecue, beer, and music.
No,
yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
Beat
I
that.
know, right?
Smoked meats and IPA.
So,
Make
just
some
a quick
stout.
reminder for those of you at home, Fretboard is located at 5800 Creek Road. The jam session will be on November 4th. It'll be 11 to midnight, and you guys are going to be welcoming these bands.
Absolutely. So it's kicking off at 1 o'clock. We got the BC Duo, which obviously you guys weren't here this evening. They performed here
Yeah.
tonight for
John
a private
Gentry, Chris
event.
Ellison.
They're
John Gentry and
ridiculous.
Chris Entry.
They were
Chris
so
Ellison.
good.
They're very good.
So
We got
good.
Matt Waters, Mike and Sean, half of the Tillers. And then we've got the Cliff Tones, and then we close out the evening with the Almighty Get Down.
So
Which
you guys
is
are going
big
to
band.
hop on there, right? Like the brewery band.
Yeah, so the
We're
actual
gonna-
close of the evening is like.
I am
take that
getting
break,
up there
we'll see what
with
happens.
somebody. I'm gonna get up there with somebody and play. I don't know who it is yet. I don't know who
We'll
it is
figure
yet.
it out.
Maybe it's BC Duo. Maybe at the end of the night.
We'll grab a bass player and we'll head up there.
Yeah.
We'll figure something
We'll
out.
figure it out.
You
Hey,
can't-
any
you can't
bass
rush
players in the area?
improvisation.
Bring your gear.
Takes away from
You can't rush the
Can't
improv
plan
American
improvisation.
IPA.
You know
The
who plays
improv
bass?
American
Who's-
IPA takes its time.
Yes.
Andrew
It's dry hop
McLeese
tomorrow.
from Brink Brewing.
Oh, yeah.
Please come up, Andrew.
Yeah.
Bring your bass guitar. He plays
Bring
guitar
it.
and bass. Bring it up, and at the jam session, we're getting you up on stage. We'll have a little Brink and Fretboard collaboration.
That'd be cool. That'd be cool.
I'll have to convince my wife to come up. But guys, thank you so much for
Thank
having
you.
us.
Thank you.
We're very excited for the opening.
Thanks for coming out.
But
Very
you
tasty
guys have,
beer.
all of you at home have a lot to be excited for. And thank you for watching Brew Minds. I'm Jesse.
I'm Tom.
And then these are all the founders of
Jim,
almost all the
Brad,
founders of
Jim.
Fretboard.
We love you and we love beer.
This is it.
This is it.
And I guess we will see you all on Monday. But thanks for joining us.
Thank you.